Hello, welcome to a new video on this channel. Today we're gonna look into the new vote. It's not, of course, a new feature, well, relatively new I guess. But today we're going to look into what is being voted on and why I think this is a bad vote. And I'm gonna say like, okay, well, I know it's about the Astronomer, and I know, it's when it comes to buffing people and nerfing, I'm not really sure how it's gonna go if it goes through Wolvesville, but I expect that people are gonna vote like either keep it as it is or too weak, and in my opinion it's too strong. But I don't want to argue like, okay, we are gonna lose this anyways, maybe this vote shouldn't be serious. Like, it's not like that. What I think is wrong with this vote here is that I don't think it needs to be nerfed per se. I think it needs to be reworked, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be buffed or nerfed. It just has to work differently. I'm going to vote to nerf it because that would be better than the other two options. But I think what really is needed for the Astronomer is that it gets a rework, and there's like two options. Like, either make it more skill based. I think like in terms of output it's fine-ish, but it's just like way too easy to confirm yourself, and also it's way too easy to get your protection ability to do, like, to be used, like actually be put into practice. Because if you think of it, like, compare this with Pumpkin, with every other role in this witch tree, which needs to protect someone, a pretty skill based role to be fair. A Forger needs to select someone, give a shield, that takes time. Also, then that doesn't guarantee that a player's shield will be used. Of course, you have two shields. I think the big thing that could probably be the best thing that to happen to the Astronomer is that just this whole witch tree is made RSV. Like, initially I was not really a big fan of that. I was not on the witch should be RSV train, but now eventually I actually realized that it's probably the best thing it can do, because it is just a bullet roll. It doesn't have like day killing like Gunner, VG, and Bully. Also, it doesn't have like a second bullet or like roll blocking in the same way. Astronomer does have roll blocking, obviously, but yeah. It's like different, I guess, but it's like it comes with protection instead of like a second bullet, a reveal, or something like. It's kind of like a hybrid between Jailer and yeah. It feels a bit similar to Jailer to some degree. So it just makes sense. The witch tree is RSV, and that doesn't mean usually that this role can appear in place of a medium, for example, because RSV setups are pretty uncommon, and also if they happen, they are really unbalanced RSVs on its own, because getting a medium or ritualist is so much better than getting a detective or mortician in most cases. So it is already quite a big problematic thing, but it's not like used that often, so RSVs don't get the spotlight that it deserves as a problem, and I don't think it's needed either, as long as RSV isn't very common in setups. But I have to say that the witch is pretty common, and if it is an RRV, that is a pretty problematic thing, because witches can just prove themselves. They add bullets and they add protection. So basically, if you get a witch, you basically get something that nobody can claim. So it's like Mayor. You're not going to be able to counterclaim it, but as Werewolf you might just claim RV because you want to claim something, probably. Otherwise you just give full agency to the village essentially, and yeah, you will likely lose. But if the RRV that you're going to contest is like Witch or Mayor, then suddenly your role just, it immediately falls into the water, and immediately your claim is basically giving you away, which is also a reason why people say that claiming is a bad thing to do as Werewolf, because you just give yourself away, which and no, but that is definitely the case if witches can appear as RRVs. So that is kind of the problem, and every single advanced role in the witch tree also has this problem. Pumpkin Dealer is kind of a weird one because it's RNG based, but even that one, like essentially it has a kill or even death ability, it has a protection ability in potential, a roll block. It's kind of a weird role. To be fair, it probably shouldn't exist in the way it exists right now, but yeah, people like it, so it's not going to change, you know. But yeah, in terms of this vote, I think this is a pretty bad vote in the sense of this should have a fourth option, make it RSV, and that should be the winner in my opinion. I hope it's not gonna be buffed by some way, because I could imagine like the community going for that. I have no clue what to expect in terms of results. I'm really curious if we're gonna see that at some point. Well, we will probably see by like it happening, but I'm just betting like 90% chance that it's going to be like the keep it as it is category. So I'm gonna vote this, but yeah, let me know what you are gonna do, what you think of the Witch and the Astronomer in particular, what its future be. Of course, the problem specifically with Astronomer compared to other Witch roles is that it is extremely provable very quickly day one, and it has like no effort. That is the problem of the Astronomer, but not the fact that it's like otherwise too overpowered to its roll tree. The thing is just the roll tree is too overpowered to be RV and should be RSV. And maybe the Detective and Mortician could be RV if they really want to move something into the RV, but I don't think even that's necessary. No, they don't need to do that. Like the RV rolls, like as long as you can claim this role like somewhat good, somewhat easily as Werewolf, I think RV tier is like good enough. And this role is not very claimable.